Holmgren sizing up Murphy. Drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. JDub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncontested Weekly Show, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. I'm your host on this Wednesday night, JD Silva, joined by a couple of fellas. First one's Nick Crane.
We are almost on time.
We are.
And it's actually probably the closest we've been in a long time. What's the common denominator? We always thought it was Taylor. Maybe it's Jacob.
Oh,
be Jacob.
I think collectively we're all pretty bad.
Yeah. Jacob should be joining us soon as well. But you heard him. I'm also joined by Taylor Peterson.
I am here. Dog days of the NBA offseason, but honestly, really proud of us. Little bragging on ourselves for some really fun content, I feel like, over the past couple of pods. I've had a lot of fun podcasting with you guys, so thankful for you all and for being creative.
Yeah, I do wake up like the last couple of Wednesdays. You wake up and it's like there is no NBA content. Like I'm waiting on some drama. I'm waiting on something. Like I thought the schedule would be out by now. Nope, it's tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Maybe
tomorrow at 2 Central Time.
Yeah, so there's some stuff coming out, but we're the IV is a drip feed currently. it's been turned off at numerous times, but
get used to it.
Yeah. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating if you haven't done so already. I've heard you can leave comments on Spotify now. Is that true?
I don't listen to pods. I don't know.
It's true. I mean, look at that. If you can, someone leave a comment. I'll go read it and see if you're talking shit or not. We'll see. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Hey, on the last podcast, or maybe one before, Jacob was talking about how he's about to choose an NFL team and things of that nature. And I was like, notice how I didn't say join the Vikings fandom. Well, today I found out rookie quarterback out for the year.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And then like two wide receivers were carted off. So,
well, if it makes you feel any better, JJ McCarthy or not, they're still going to finish the same way as the Cowboys and not win a playoff game. So, like, really doesn't matter. Like, if you're not winning at all, what are you doing anyways? So.
Good news is Addison looks to be okay. He was carted off, but it looks like just an ankle injury. So that's good for both you and my fantasy team.
Well, it's a weird thing. Like, as soon as all the Chiefs players stopped getting arrested, all the Vikings players started getting hurt.
Or arrested, because Addison did get arrested recently, I think. Or got a DUI.
Forgot about that.
You passed it off to us, Taylor. Good stuff. Hey, there is some NBA-related stuff to talk about. We found out just a few hours ago, I think, from old Shams, who's just giving us like one game at a time from the schedule over the last week. The Thunder are going to be playing on opening night, which is October 24th. It's Thunder versus Nugs on TNT. Nugs on TNT. Last year of TNT, it's very weird to me. I feel like I'm going to be sad during every halftime.
Are both real opening night games on ESPN? Do we know? I
don't know.
Good question. I do not remember.
I think it is. And if that's the case, and I could be totally wrong, and this doesn't mean anything, does that mean the Thunder has the first primetime TNT opener ever? Is that how that works?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Very good point. I think so. I think especially since they're playing against the Nuggets, I think it's very safe to assume that will be the latter of the two TNT games, which will be the second, the day after opening games. So, yeah, I think you're right, Nick. I hadn't thought about that.
Will they also get the last TNT primetime game?
Game 7 of the NBA Finals. No, I guess TNT doesn't do the finals.
It would be later or earlier in the playoffs, but still, they could have to last.
Feels like so much is changing. So much is changing this year with all the TV networks. I saw earlier Portland dropped their version of Bally, dropped them. So they're moving to a different format. Hoping to see that. We have all these like TNT's moving out, the new TV deal is setting in, and we're getting all these games announced now for the Thunder. And it's like, are they going to be on prime time? What is prime time after this season? Where does that live? And I don't know. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited the Thunder are getting some recognition early on in the season. They're not on Christmas. I don't know what else has been announced that they are not a part of. Is Christmas the big one? I think that's probably it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many like big, like you got Christmas, New Year's, MLK is a big one. Opening night, obviously. I mean, Christmas is the big like snub at this point.
It's the showcase.
Yeah.
It's the showcase.
Now, I will say this, for all the talk we had last week about the Thunder getting snubbed on Christmas Day, and we still haven't heard anything about the Thunder schedule outside of like they're apparently starting on the road for the first 2 games and then have the Hawks for the home opener. This right here is a nationally televised game on TNT. We're not including NBA TV, obviously. And then we'll get into the NBA Cup later in the podcast. That's 2 additional nationally televised games. So the Thunder already have 3. It's a good start.
And against the Nuggets, especially. This is like 2 teams you would consider to be the best squaring off right away. I don't know how much of this can be like, can game 1 or early game of the season be considered a measuring stick game? I don't know, but I think it's going to be great to digest. I mean, the Nuggets, I don't know how you guys feel about the Nuggets in general. I'm kind of low on them. Like if you're asking me to pick this game right now, like I'd pick the Thunder currently.
You know what the season series was last year, Silva?
3-1 OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
SGA game winner.
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that one.
They kind of owned them last year. It's for the last 5 too, going back to the season prior.
Yeah, and I think the Nuggets are going to be worse probably this year. I mean, they just lost depth. They're relying on a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
They didn't re-sign KCP. There's been so many podcasts who have talked about that, but I've got to be completely honest with you guys. I know Nick, you're one of them. I mean, I understand you can't take too much stock into how a player plays in FIBA during the summer. Potentially Murray was injured, but seeing just how poorly he played to the point that he was essentially being benched for Team Canada. And then like imagining him just coming out game 1 and being ready to go. Like I don't see that. So if you don't have 100% Murray for whatever reason, whether it's injury, mental, whatever it may be, and then you're still trying to figure out your depth, they're relying on a lot of young guys, the Christian Browns and Julian Strothers and all these different players, right, that they've drafted over the past couple of drafts that they think can help fill that KCP role at a cheaper price. That's going to take some time to figure out, even if it does somehow work. So I'm with you, Silva. I think there's going to be a lot of questions for the Nuggets. Then on the flip side, you have the Thunder, this new-ish iteration of the Thunder. Obviously, I mean, they look incredible on paper. So it'll be interesting to see how Caruso and Hartenstein fit with this team early on against a really good player in Jokic, right? And a really solid team. And then I'm very curious, will we be talking about, wow, this Thunder team's already ready to go, they look awesome? Or will we say, there's still some kinks to be ironed out?
Yeah, Thunder 2.1. We're calling that. That's what we're labeling this season.
Is that a t-shirt idea?
I like
that.
that.
T-shirt idea. If I were to ask you both to name the starting lineup for this game, who would you pick? Because I don't think I can confidently pick myself.
Me either. But if I had to, I mean, really, we know 4. We think we know 4 at least.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think Caruso or Hartenstein starts? Is the question for me. I don't think Mark is going to be the kind of guy that like fluctuates his starting lineup. Like the data suggests with him as a head coach, he likes consistency almost to a fault. Like I think who starts opening night is probably going to start at least the first 25, 30 games. It's not going to be like a matchup dependent thing. It's going to be one of the biggest storylines of the offseason, like the biggest things when we find out the starting lineup. I'll go. I mean, I know this is not the popular opinion. I still think Hartenstein starts.
Go ahead, Silva.
I would not be very few options, I think, could, out of the obvious ones, could like shock me. Even if it's Isaiah Joe, that wouldn't totally shock me. Like we saw him in a start in a playoff game.
I'll be honest, that would shock me at this point after the Thunder have gotten Hartenstein and Caruso.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Like I'm not saying I disagree with, or I just I would be surprised there. But Mark's done crazier things.
Yes. Maybe it's the Caruso thing. When I podcasted with Jacob last, he was kind of said it like it was assumed that like Caruso is going to be the guy. And that may be true. I just hadn't thought about it in depth recently. And it's like, that just seems so small to me, but maybe they're okay with that.
And well, to your point, Silva, like starting Isaiah Joe, you're even smaller. And we've seen Mark go to that, not just in starting lineups, but something that Nick and I have hammered over and over for the past couple of years is the starting lineup doesn't even really matter that much as the closing lineups. And we saw the Thunder go small a couple years in a row now, if you want to include the Kenrich Williams small ball as well. And Isaiah Joe, right? We've seen them go smaller to get their best players on the floor and the best fit and try and take advantage of some of these matchups. And so I'm still leaning Caruso, Nick. I think they really like Chet as a primary five, at least to begin a game. And we heard I think Pressey talked about it. Coach Dignault talked about it this offseason, just about they view that as his true position. They think it unlocks so much for this team. And I also think they really like the idea of having a Hartenstein coming off the bench whenever you sit Chet, right? And to use that to their advantage with the second unit. And then we're obviously going to see them play together. I think the biggest question for me is that closing lineup. And I think that's what's going to vary game to game, depending on the matchup of the team, rather than the starting lineup is who closes. And I think we'll see I would guess that we see more Hartenstein. This is a hot take, more Hartenstein than Caruso closing games this season.
Let's do a fun little exercise. And to be clear, the past does not mean that this season could be. The past does not mean it couldn't change this season. Caruso is very capable of being a starter. There's no question. But I want to play a little game. Caruso's first season ever, age 23 Lakers. What % of games do you think he started?
With the Lakers?
Yeah.
25%?
Ooh. 18%.
19%.
Boom.
Okay. Season 2, also with the Lakers, age 24 season. What was the percentage? Give me up or down. Give me up or down.
Up.
Up.
It was down to 16. The very next season, age 25, Lakers. Up or down?
Up.
Up. I'm gonna just keep blowing it. If I just
way
keep
down, it
guessing.
was 3%. He
What?
2 out of 64.
Oh my god.
His last season with the Lakers, age 26. Up or down from 3%?
It's got to be up.
Got to be up.
It was up. It was at 10. Then he gets straight to the Bulls.
Wow.
Things change a little bit. What was his percentage first season with the Bulls?
48%.
69.
43. Okay. Second season with the Bulls was just 2 seasons ago, the 2022-23 season. What was he?
I'm going to say
10.
up, and he was closer to 60.
It was 53. Silva, you are way off.
Drilling this.
Last season with the Bulls, one of his better seasons as a pro. Who was he?
I can't even answer this anymore. I've been so wrong.
21.
every single time.
Also, hello, I'm Jacob.
You heard him. It's Jacob Niffin.
He started 80% of games last year, which was a career
Oh, wow.
high.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the point of the exercise doesn't mean that he could start 0 games this year, and Mark could really lean into the bench. He could start 82 games this year. Point being, Caruso hasn't been a permanent starter his entire career. So I think he fits very well. Hartenstein, similar story. He only started because of injuries last year. But I think it's interesting that we're talking about 2 guys that are obviously really damn good. Of which one's gonna be in the starting lineup? Neither of them have been primary starters outside of strange circumstances.
Great point. And I've been thinking about that. I'm saving some of that for when we do our Thunder Minutes distribution podcast here in a couple of weeks.
Taylor's already taking notes for a podcast.
I
that's
am.
weeks away.
I've been thinking
That's
a
a
lot
pro.
about Hartenstein playing alongside Mitchell Robinson. Caruso's career path. Maybe that's why I was so spot on with your exercise.
All right. There are some more schedule-related stuff to talk about. The NBA Cup. What is it called now? The Emirates Cup? Emirates
Yeah.
NBA Cup? NBA Emirates
Just
Cup?
like
Sorry,
overseas.
I know I'm late. We already talked season opener.
Yes.
One thing we
yes.
didn't mention, though, is Russell Westbrook versus the Thunder to kick off the season.
Yeah, Kaysen's going to clamp him.
Yeah, I'm nauseous thinking about that.
Thunder by 20. Okay, we can move on now.
Let's talk about some of these. The group play schedule has been released for the Thunder. As you know, in their group, it's the Suns, the Spurs, the Lakers, the Jazz, and they will play them in that order. Thought it'd be fun to pick the games, see where we think they end up.
It's a great
I would love to
draw.
see. I would love to see the Thunder make it further in this, make it to the Final Four, make it further than they did last year, which was nowhere essentially. So Friday, November 15th, against the Suns.
Is that a home game or an away game?
Home.
Home game Friday night against the Suns.
Oh, that's
do
gonna
we
be fun.
do we get those courts again?
I assume.
Maybe
would
not the
think
same one,
so.
but
Or they change them up? That would be cool.
I assume they would
they'll
change
change
them
them up because it'll be city jerseys, and we know that the city jerseys are going to be different this year. They are.
Well,
every
no,
year.
last year the Thunder had a city jersey alt court, and then that like not navy, but like that bright royal blue alt court.
True, but they still match the city jerseys, right? Like for each team.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the Thunders was like navy blue and the paint, and it was just way more obnoxious for the NBA Cup compared to the actual city courts that some teams did.
yeah, I want to
I'm
get away
thinking-
from all the neon, strange colors. I'm hoping they
I think that's
adjust it.
sick. I love that.
Some of them, I think,
It
silver
was a little
like that.
hard on the eyes at times.
I liked a lot of them. But against the Suns, it's Friday nights at home. I'm picking a W,
I think so too.
a George W.
Me 3.
Now watch this drive. Nick?
I don't know. It's a game in 3
Yeah,
months.
it's just
but
a random game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'll take a win here, Silva. How's that?
That sounds wonderful. Next game, Tuesday, November 19th, against the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio. And it's an 8:30. I, for one, would love to see
Loss.
the Thunder just... I want to see the Thunder just wipe the floor with the Spurs this season because I mean they're getting the Christmas Day game ahead of them. Wemby is just going to be in our lives for like a decade.
More.
More than a decade.
Silva,
Get
you're going to
the
be
wins on
50
top.
when we're done talking about Wemby.
Holy shit.
I don't know if Silva's making it to 50, guys.
Jeez.
My preference is to be taxidermied when I die. I bet someone in West Virginia would do it.
Yeah, or like Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I hope nobody from Tennessee or West Virginia either A, listens or B, takes offense to that. I mean, it could go either way. I understand the point of the exercise, but I'm just going to say I think the Thunder are the best team in the division, and I don't think it's close. Will that result in them advancing in the division to like
The group.
the group? into,
Division's
like,
a very different. Very different.
all right, leave me
fair.
alone. All right,
Your
they're the best
Timberwolves,
team in the group,
Nuggets,
and
yeah.
they should advance.
Agreed.
They're the best team in their division too. But
Hey.
That's tough, man. That's like their division finished 1, 2, 3 last year. The
I know
West.
their
The
division
best
is
division in
it's
the
the
league.
best division in
Yeah.
the league by
It
far.
is. It is.
Jacob brings
don't
up
know that-
and Nick.
That Atlantic division is pretty good. Is that Boston, New York, Philly,
True.
Brooklyn.
Boston.
and then you got
or,
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, and is Toronto in that as well?
Probably.
Without
Can you
having
guys-
the rest of the context of the schedule, it's like, remember last year with some of these games, and we were all upset because like these were some of the only national TV games outside of NBA TV that the Thunder got, and they were like almost all on back-to-backs.
Yeah.
So my opinion may change when we see the schedule tomorrow, but I also would take the win. Like Jacob said, they should come out of this group.
Taylor is actually going to be the guy that like comments on the YouTube when the schedule drops tomorrow. It's like, scratch that. That's a back-to-back. I'm taking a loss. Like we're tracking this stuff for award money or something.
Let it be known at this timestamp. I had a disclaimer.
Well, here's the thing, Taylor. When we actually pick that week and those games happen, you've already locked your answer in, so don't change it then either.
Yeah,
I would like
those
to
locked
win.
in.
I would like to win the picks game this year. That'd be cool.
Did you get last year?
No, you got last.
Yeah, you son of a
No.
gun. Yes,
I got-
you
I
did.
didn't.
I got
no, I
second.
didn't. No, I didn't. I was
Justin
in first
got
with like 2
last.
weeks left.
I finished
Wasn't it
second.
Justin? Yeah.
Oh, it was
Justin.
Justin.
I think Justin was.
Come
last.
on now.
Well, I tried to get one in there.
Come
Hey,
on.
You know, if I had to stake my life on naming every NBA division, like not even the teams in them, just the names of the divisions, I certainly would not make it to the end.
Let's
of,
try it. Let's do it right now. Live on the pod. What do you got?
You want me to do it?
Do it right now.
Pacific,
Yes.
Southwest.
I don't even know him. I gotta Google. it.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's
I've got
one.
hockey, baseball, and football like the back of my hand. Basketball, just for some reason, it's just weird.
Because they don't matter.
Football's easy. AFC
Yeah.
North, South, West.
Okay, you said
Like the
Pacific,
teams in them too.
Southwest
fair.
is one. Yes.
Okay, Atlantic.
Yes.
Okay, how about Northwest?
Yes.
That's a key one there, Silva.
You've got
Yeah.
the 3 Western Conference ones: Southwest,
Okay.
Pacific, Northwest. You got 2 more Eastern Conference ones to go.
Northeast?
Nope, the Atlantic is the Northeast.
Damn it. Southeast?
Southeast is one.
The SEC? I guess it's
So
the
I was about to say.
SED.
And then
SCD. SCD.
and then
Just means more.
Central?
Central.
Is that
Good
all
job,
of them?
JD. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
all.
pretty
Holy-
good.
Hey, how
I
about
think
that?
that's better than I would have done.
Basketball guy.
How about that? That's a basketball guy over here. Okay. Yeah, they didn't
Not
they
to
played
get us too off track, but you guys were talking like other sports. Baseball and NFL having 2 divisions, but they're like not geographically divided, makes me really mad.
Well, it's because baseball is a historic sport, and there's been
I don't care. Fix it.
several relocations, and you don't change that stuff. That's like one of the most traditional sports there is out there. You just like the Canada team changes to like Florida. You're not changing their division because they move. It just like you just don't do it. Apple pie, Jacob. Apple pie.
I'm anti-baseball.
I love baseball. Went to Fenway this weekend. It was sick.
I saw that. I've been not inside Fenway, but to Fenway. It's really cool.
They got the old big
a little-
green. What is it?
The Green Monster.
That.
Bro, there was a dude on the Astros that hit a ball, not just over the Green Monster and out of the stadium.
Wow.
That's
Some of these
insane. Is he
dudes
cheating?
Gotta be juicing. Juicing.
Other games is the Lakers, the Jazz. I don't know if you guys have anything super crazy to
stink.
say there, but yeah, the Jazz.
I think the
stink, which
Jazz are
means-
going to be a fun team moving forward with their youth, but right now they stink.
They'll lose to the Lakers.
They're going to lose one of these games.
the Lakers are just a bad matchup. I think they could go 3-1 in this in group play.
I think they should advance.
Agreed.
Yeah.
To Vegas?
Yes.
You're gonna go?
We're going
Where?
to go.
Yeah, we
Vegas.
are.
I would go.
100%.
I would go for free.
What does that mean?
Means you guys need to keep subscribing and liking.
Super chats,
Pay our way to
please.
Vegas.
Start a GoFundMe.
The weekly
I don't-
Silva super chat. If we get $5 a week, we can
I'll have to
probably
have someone donate some PTO to me as well. And then maybe.
that I
Yeah.
can't help with, partner.
Yeah. All right, let's
I'll
go
call,
to our
I'll
first.
call in a bomb threat to your work. Get it closed
Oh
down
my
for a couple
God.
days.
Okay. Let's
Brother, you want time off? I mean,
Even better
yeah.
if you want to close the building down for a couple days. Let Jacob walk in with his Riz walk and the sounder, and they'll shut that shit down too. say, shut this place down.
I do that. No, I'm not gonna make the joke. Never mind.
All right. It's time to take our first ad break of the night. And then we're going to
Someone's
do...
gonna call HR on my ass.
I know. So we got to cut to the ad break. Once we get back from the ad break, we're going to do some expansion draft stuff.
Ooh.
Be right back. Okay, we're back. Let's do a little expansion draft exercise. And by that, we mean we're going to protect 8 players from whichever team we're talking about. First up is going to be the Thunder. Be a fun way for us to kind of discuss the depth of the team, how strong their top 8 is, which is, like a playoff rotation, essentially, minus 1 player. But yeah, let's start with the Thunder. You guys want to go in like a draft order? You just want to start throwing some obvious names out?
Who's like the first person? If it was like a NFL top 100 where Presti's like writing in the names on a sheet of paper, got to send it in. Who's the first one? He's like, yeah, this guy's not in the expansion draft.
So let's just be clear. You can protect 8 guys, right? Yep. The rest of the guys go into the expansion draft. That does not mean they're going to get selected in the expansion draft.
Yep.
So that may play a role in you choosing like who you protect, because maybe you take Minnesota, for example. If I was doing this for Minnesota, I probably wouldn't protect Karl Anthony Towns, because I don't think a brand new franchise is going to eat that much money on that contract. Maybe.
It could.
Same thing with Rudy Gobert, right? Like, I think those might be candidates to not protect because you feel like you will still be able to retain them. So just something to keep in mind as we go through this exercise.
Yeah, but on the flip side, most of the guys that are going to be available in the expansion draft are not going to be max contract players, and you've got the ability to have a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Point being, don't put Shai in the expansion draft. He will get taken.
I'm protecting Usman Jang, first pick.
The T-Wolves would actually probably be like, someone please take Rudy Gobert's contract ultimately. By the time
how does that work? Do they just like get off his money?
Yeah.
There's gotta be like salary stuff where if a guy makes more than X in a year, you can't.
Like a certain kind of cap hold.
Gotta be. That's a weird loophole that I haven't ever thought about, but that would
we haven't had an expansion draft in so long that I think the rules of previous expansion drafts would probably be negated and like new things would be put in place with the CBA. So
that would be so sick. I am a big time advocate of expansion.
That'll be a very exciting time, especially if one of those teams is the Sonics.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be so sick.
Seattle and Vegas.
Yep.
Vegas. There we go.
It's one of my favorite.
Those will be the two.
I would definitely be a fan of one of the two. Like I'd lean into that. You one of the first fans? Like that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Seattle would have to be the Supersonics. What would Vegas be?
Would they be the Sonics or the Supersonics?
I don't know, but I'd be a Vegas fan for sure. I'd buy a jersey the first day they came out. Not like actually no, because when the team first comes out, they just have those BS like Vegas with like no mascot. Just like remember when the Thunder came? It was just like
gray basketball.
Yeah, just like a random
Oklahoma City.
Yeah. I don't want that. Wait till the mascot comes out.
The Vegas parlays.
Oh, that would be
sick.
Good.
Would it really? I was kind of joking,
sponsor
but I'll
could
take
be
it.
like ESPN Bet.
Let's ask Chat GPT with the best names for a Vegas.
Their logo would be me holding up my parlay ticket in Las Vegas. Why don't we pick some Thunder players?
That'd be a good idea. Nick Jordan says the Las Vegas Jokers.
Ooh, that'd be
That's
good.
One. I like
this
that.
one. This one here says high rollers, outlaws, hustlers, gamblers, jokers, dealers, vipers. The Vegas Vipers.
It's got a good ring.
Vegas.
That sounds like a night show, like a gentleman's show in Vegas. The
like
Vipers.
The Vegas Sticky Buns.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I'd buy that jersey immediately.
100%.
Isn't it
All
Milky Buns?
Milky Buns. They're not sticky buns, buddy. They're milky. I don't care what kind of buns they are. I'm eating them.
Oh my god, that's a sounder. Holy shit. 18.
Oh my god. All right.
Anyways, I think Silva's original question is: are we actually drafting like snake draft style?
Sure.
For players.
Yes,
Silva, you're up.
I'm protecting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for obvious reasons.
That's
Great
easy.
pick.
I think that the first three are very easy. The next one's Chet Holmgren.
Yep. Nick's muted. He took a drink of water.
Yeah. Dub. You already said the first three are obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I get the first
Taylor, here
fun
you go.
one. So obviously I'm going with Bismack Biyombo, who's listed here on ESPN. So this is
Guys
actually
that are on the
pretty
team,
fun.
Taylor.
Pretty fun. I'm kind of a like NBA draft sicko in me that wants to take Topich, but I'm not. I'm taking Casey Wallace.
Casey Wallace is the right pick. We get to protect 8, right?
We're
So now we go
4 in.
reverse order. Taylor, you're back up.
This actually is kind of tough. This is where it gets really interesting. We're having to put these players in order.
Alex Dukas sitting out there.
That's right. I think I'm trying to decide between a young prospect and one of the veterans. I'm going to go ahead and go Hartenstein here. But the thing that makes me just based off like production and stuff, like I think it makes a lot of sense to protect him. But the contract, he's only on contract for 2 years. You know, you're probably going to lose him if we're being completely honest here in a couple seasons. So that's what makes it really tough. But still, I think Hartenstein, obviously, will
young.
get drafted. I'm going to protect him. Yeah.
He's young. Because of the tradability of the contract, you got to take that into play too. I think you got to go Lou Dort.
Okay. Tough one for me. I'm kind of between Aaron Wiggins, Nikola Topic, and Isaiah Joe.
No Caruso because of the contract.
No, not necessarily the contract, but like expansion draft's happening in like at earliest 2 years from now. He'll be like 32 at the time, kind of on the back end. So
I was treating this as right now.
Oh.
I was too.
Oh. Give me Wiggs. Is that a hot take?
Dude, Taylor, who is the young guy you're considering?
Topic.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it is, Jacob, because I was considering Wiggs also. I guess it kind of
who
falls.
are you going to take with the last one?
Probably Nikola Topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a strange guy that I want to see play basketball in a year.
So that means players that didn't get protected would be Alex Caruso, Ousmane Dieng, Isaiah Joe, Keontae Johnson, Dylan Jones, AJ Mitchell, Jay Will, and Kenrich.
And just something else, Taylor. I thought Taylor was going a different direction. Something that might be a brain blast for a lot of listeners. Maybe you guys too. What's the age gap between Wiggins and Hartenstein?
1
Say
year.
it.
Less than a year.
I think.
One's 25, one's 26.
What'd you say, Taylor?
No, I said I think, and I was starting to think.
Oh.
I was going to say it's like a 2 year gap. So I'm not. I mean, right there in the same ballpark. I think Wiggins is 2 years older. Is that right?
Hartenstein's 8 months and 2 days older.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's it. It's
That's
like
pretty
when
insane to think about.
we talk about Wiggins as like a young guy that's still kind of coming up. Not much younger than Hartenstein.
Mm-hmm.
All
From
right.
the names that were left, I think a few of them go in an expansion draft.
Who?
Caruso.
Joe.
I think the young guys for sure. I think a guy like Isaiah Joe. I think a guy like Jay Will. And I think
don't
a guy like
Jay
Dylan
will.
Jones.
Jay Will won't go. Dylan Jones won't go either.
You don't think Dylan Jones would go?
No.
Not young enough?
Well, two teams with presumably 12 picks, because they'll probably also have a guaranteed first round draft pick and a second round draft pick, and they probably get some of their comp thing. We'll say 12 guys. I think Dylan Jones, if you put all these non-top 8 guys from all around the league, I think Dylan Jones is the top 24 player. I don't.
maybe he's not one of the 24 best or most accomplished in that pool.
Even upside though.
That
But-
was my thought. Even
well,
upside, you're going to have a lot of young
upside
guys.
slash just for me, it's contract control. Not having to rotate over that roster so fast.
That's why I'm excited to get into some of these other teams. I wish we
Yeah.
could go like team by team. We just
Yeah.
don't have the time or the people in the
Yeah,
podcast.
we're not doing
that. There's some interesting young names. I think they'll be left off rosters that will be very enticing draft
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah, I think hearing from other teams, which we're about to do, will really spotlight like the talent of the pool, and only 24 of those guys are going to go.
Yep. So then, Nick, who's the next team you want to do?
So the Pistons.
Dang it.
Oh, sick. So now are we
Nick
gonna see
literally mentioned this. He was like, what if we both have the same team? I was like, well, then the first person that goes gets it. And the other person has to pivot. Guess who
Now,
has to pivot
since-
now?
Since this is the team you chose, Nick, are you going to choose the 8 or are we going to
Yes.
draft again?
I'll choose because I'm
Yeah.
sure not all of you have like the roster pulled up. And
Oh, I have it pulled up. Let's draft it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's
I
draft it, you
will,
cowards.
with the first protection, I will go Cade Cunningham.
I think that's fair. I'll go Nick, me, Silva, Taylor. No.
Cool.
Taylor doesn't get the double pick again. That's not fair.
True.
It'll go Nick, Taylor, Silva, me.
Okay.
Taylor,
so
you're up.
next up, maybe a bit of a hot take, but I'm locking in Ron Holland, the second,
Not the first.
not the first. Second of his name. King of Vandals.
All right,
Father
JD, who are you
Dragons.
going to take?
Oh, God. So we have Cade off the board. We have Ron
Ron's
off the board. Oh, boy. Probably going to go Asar Thompson.
Yep, that's the right pick.
Correct.
That is the right pick. Here it gets a little interesting. I've got Jaden Ivey. I've got Jalen Duren.
B-ball Paul.
B-ball Paul. I got the beef stew.
The beef stew.
I think just my back-to-back picks here. If I have to go in order, I will say Jalen Duren and then Jaden Ivey.
Yep. So we're at 5 and we're talking about all young guys. It's like their 5-man core.
Yeah.
So
So
now it gets
JD,
interesting.
Taylor, and then Nick will finish this out.
Okay, so we're probably going to... So you took Duran and then Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I am going to take... Damn, these are slim pickings here.
Big Simone Fontecchio guy.
I know who
Damn
Taylor's gonna take. It's not Fontecchio.
You know what?
That's
I'm
who I
taking
would have
beef.
taken.
I'm taking beef stew.
Wow.
Beef stew? Okay. Well, now I am torn. If I had your pick, Silva, I would have gone Fontecchio. But I'll get fun here. And I think I'm gonna go down. Nick's path. Let's go Bobby Clintman.
Bobby.
Bobby.
It is Bobby.
Toby.
Bobby.
I thought it was Bobby, but I didn't want to say
Bobby.
it.
It's Bobby.
Fontecchio is probably the pick here, but
Bobby Hill. That boy ain't right.
The way
see,
you
Bobby
said
just felt wrong.
the way you said Fontecchio made me sound like it was an Italian pasta. Let me get that Fontecchio.
One of my favorites.
Fettuccine.
Oh shit. Okay. That's hard now because that's all the good names that were on the board.
Dang it, Bobby.
Hey, there's still a
Dang it.
really, there's still a really intriguing name here.
Who?
It's Marcus Sasser.
That's like the only interesting, but I
I
don't
know.
buy him. I don't buy him as a prospect at 6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a
Spice
really,
Harris?
He had a really hot start to last year, but
Buddy Buckets.
Do they really have Evan Fournier?
Yeah,
they got Tim Hardaway Jr.
I know. And gave
Tim
up
Hardaway
way too
Jr. and
much.
Tobias Harris is going to be fun to watch next year. I know he just got cut and picked up for free. I'm going to go B-ball Paul. Like
B-ball Paul.
if I was starting a franchise and you handed me a roster and said, all right, last pick, you want B-Ball Paul or Marcus Sasser. I know Marcus is younger and stuff, but like I'm taking B-Ball Paul.
They have Malik Beasley too. That's such an interesting roster.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like someone panicked and just picked up a bunch of vets that on paper would do what the team wants to
Yeah.
do.
By interesting, if you mean bad, then yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the
Hey, I'm
Knicks
pretty-
that signed like 11
Like a
power forwards that
hodgepodge.
one summer?
Was it the Knicks?
I can't remember.
It was like, yeah, because it was like Julius Randle and Taj Gibson and and I don't know who else. I'm pretty fascinated by this comment from Brighton Snow. He says Taylor might be the only one that played Clash of Clans.
In what context?
I've
What are
never
they
played Clash of Clans.
What does that mean?
I know it's an
Yeah.
app on the iPhone.
Please
That's about all I
explain
got.
what that means.
Yeah,
played it.
Brighton, we need
I played it when
When
I
you-
was like a freshman in high school, I think.
Also, what does this comment mean? Taylor, you're the Michael of the group? What's the Michael of the group mean?
It's like The Office, right?
The
Is it?
MJ, Michael
Oh,
Jordan.
I was thinking Michael Cage.
I don't
shit.
know.
That's a good one too.
I
A
don't
lot of
think anybody
vague
knows.
Taylor comments.
This one too. I'm almost certain JD has lost the most bets.
Might be right.
Hey, JD, you lose every bet you don't make, right?
Shoot or shoot.
Facts.
Shoot or shoot.
Oh,
Okay.
I know what Brighton's alluding to. I mentioned at Ron Hall in the second, and I said second of his name. You know, that whole thing. That was a Game of Thrones reference, not a Clash of Clans, Brighton. I'm a Thrones nerd, not a Clash of Clans nerd.
Which clans are clashing? That's what I want to know.
What team's next?
I'm going Utah.
It's another one I consider.
So I get first pick with the Utah Jazz. I've talked a lot about the youth, but Lauri Markkanen is pick number one pretty easily.
All right.
Nick, you're next.
I'll go Key.
Keontae George. I think that's the right pick.
I don't know why that threw me off so bad. I was like, who the hell is Key?
Nick took Key and Taylor's going Peel.
That'd be a fun bet payoff for two people to have to do. Let's get on the podcast. I'm going Cody Williams next.
Okay. JD, you get the double pick.
The double. All right, let's see. This is interesting. So off the board is Lowry, Cody,
And Keontae.
and Keontae all off the. Okay, well, give
You
me.
got guys like Taylor Hendricks left, Isaiah Collier,
Yeah, I'm probably going Taylor Hendricks, and then
Colin Sexton.
I think I'm going Colin Sexton after that.
Sexton is so good and just no one talks about it.
He is very good.
Yeah.
I've been very impressed.
Who's next? You, Jacob?
No, it's back to Taylor, Nick, and
Oh,
then
yes.
I close it out.
What was the second name you went with, Silva?
I went with Colin Sexton. I did
Okay.
Taylor Hendricks and Colin Sexton.
and Sexton. I'll go Walker Kessler here.
It's fair. There used to be a lot of positive buzz for Walker Kessler. Now he barely exists.
Yep.
Sorry about you.
I'll go Flip.
I will go. This isn't right, is it? Taylor Horton Tucker's 23.
That is right.
That son of a
That
bitch has been in the league as long as I've been alive.
He looks like he's 35. No offense to Justin.
That's rude. The last pick, I will go. Probably Isaiah Collier, right? Like, is that the right pick there? Just go with the last young guy.
I think it is.
Wait,
We're not trying to
Isaiah
win games.
Collier?
Yeah.
He's already picked, wasn't he?
No,
No.
Oh, I would have picked him.
I'm taking him.
Okay. Well, shit.
So
I
that
would've
means
picked him.
guys that didn't get picked from Utah. We should have done this for Detroit. Guys that didn't get picked for Utah would be Jordan
Sensabaugh.
Clarkson, John Collins, Drew Eubanks, THT, Johnny
She's a free
Juzang.
agent.
Oh, Kira Lewis Jr., Svi Mihailuk,
Thunder, great.
Don't
Micah
sleep on
Potter,
Tree.
younger brother of Harry. Jason Preston, Luka Samanic, Bryce Sensabaugh, Oscar
Sheboy?
Sheboy.
I think Sensabaugh is the one that was probably closest
I
to
agree.
being picked.
Sensaball's thick as hell.
He is.
He is. He's a big dude. Watching him in summer league.
Who's going next for this exercise?
It's
Mr.
either you or
Niffen.
Taylor. I chose Utah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Taylor, you're up. Go, bud.
Rockets. Let's do it.
Ugh.
That was my backup for the Pistons, which
Yeah,
you
it's
took.
I'm glad we're doing it. I'm glad we're doing it. Silva can get some
I
payout.
am not glad we're doing it. I am not going to protect any of their good players. I'm going to let them all go. I'm going to sabotage this entire thing.
So Nafali, Dante, Boban.
I'm protecting Boban
Protecting.
first pick.
That's awesome.
Taylor, who's your first one?
So this is where it really kind of got fun. Like, who do you think
the first
Rockets-
pick got fun?
Yeah. Who do you think the best prospect for the Rockets is? I think you could ask people and get a lot of different answers.
That is true. There's like three potential answers there, right?
I don't mean to be like recency bias, but I also don't fully still believe in the Şengün hype. Obviously, he'll get protected in this draft unless Jacob actually goes Boban. I'm going Reed Shepherd with my first pick.
JD, you're next.
Okay. Amen Thompson.
Okay.
That would have been my second.
Jabari Smith Jr.
Wow.
Nick's got the double pick.
No one's taking Şengün?
Nope.
Hell no.
Insane. That's just hate. Şengün and
I feel like I know who the next one should be, but I'm interested to see if you go with him.
between Tari and Jalen.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's not who I was going to go with.
Man, there's
Do you
so
guys-
many
I think
theoretical.
I was going to
good
go
young players.
Cam.
Yeah.
I can't get over Cam's, like, I don't know if it was actually the worst, but one of the worst shot to assist ratios in the history of the league. Like, when I scouted him, I was like, this guy could be a playmaker for himself and others. After his rookie year, I'm like, you don't pass. He's not in my list for right now. I'm going to go Tari. I just think, dude, like, I know he's older. He just elevates winning. 100% full stop.
I was hoping you win it because I was going to go Tari.
Tari's incredible. Taylor, you have the last pick.
Oh, okay, good.
We're snaking this bad boy. So then next, Nick, you went Şengün, Tari Eason.
Mm-hmm.
I will go. There are some interesting names, but I'll go Cam Whitmore.
Over Fred?
Over old
Freddie
Freddie
V.
JD.
I could go don't call him Jonathan Williams. Goes by Nate now.
He does go by Nate now. That's right.
He would have
Dog.
been I guarantee he would have been on a guaranteed contract year one had he just gone by Nate the whole time. That's a hot take I have. Anyway, I'm not picking him.
You taking Jalen Green?
I don't really want to, but I guess I will.
You got to go Jalen Green.
Guess I will. And
So
then
you
I
went
get
Jalen Green. That means nobody's taking Freddie V or Dylan Brooks.
Do I have two picks?
Canadian
Here?
great.
No, you do not. AJ
Okay.
Griffin.
So they just took
AJ's
the young
interesting.
guys. That's all we did.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the vet here then, and Fred's the vet I'm going with.
Fred the
Obviously,
vet.
I'm not going with Dylan Brooks. I hate that guy.
So names that are left are Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks, Reggie Bullock, Nafale Dante. Is that right? Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, also Reggie's not. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
ESPN
just
keeps
reading
them
down
on
the
there.
list, Nick.
I
All right.
I know.
AJ Griffin, Nate Hinton, Aaron Holiday, Jock Landale, Boban Marjanovic, Jermaine Samuels Jr., Jayshawn Tate, and Nate Williams.
Don't
don't
call
feel
him
super
Jonathan.
confident that any of those guys are going in the redraft or in the expansion draft. Kind of falls off a cliff there for him.
True.
Yeah.
All right, JD, you get to pick the last team.
SOB. It's me. I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies.
It's a fun one.
Put the link in our chat here so you can also see their roster. But
you
do
for
I go?
that.
Do I go first?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'll
yes.
go. I guess I'll go John Morant here.
Good old
I
Johnny
guess.
boy.
He's the pick.
I'm on the right year. Yeah, I'm on the right year. I will go Jaren Jackson Jr.
Dez.
Oh, dang it.
2 picks for
I'm not
Taylor.
the roster here. This is where it gets interesting. Okay, so do I have the back-to-back?
You notice it never gets interesting till Taylor's on the board.
This
Yes,
is where it
so
gets
true.
interesting. Pick
So
one.
true.
This is where it
No,
gets
seriously,
interesting.
no, seriously. He picked the Rockets, and on pick one, he goes, "This is where it gets interesting."
It
I'm
does
telling
with the Rockets. That's also my stalling mechanism. I throw it out there without thinking because I'm stalling.
I feel like that's something Tom
Do I get
Cruise says in the Mission
Taylor-
Impossible movies when they're trying to.
Taylor
stall.
gets asked a hard question by his boss, and he goes, "This is where it
This
gets
is where it gets
interesting."
You know
I
what?
was
I
like,
probably
"Bro,
would've done
I asked you where you want to get lunch." Like, this is where it
Taylor's
gets
child.
interesting.
Daddy, where do babies come from? Now this is where it
Sorry.
gets interesting.
Oh man. Do I have back-to-back picks here?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
All right, let's get crazy. Go GG Jackson the second. I love him. And Marcus Smart.
Oh,
Whoa. All right.
Tradable
Nick?
contract.
Yeah, true.
so who's off the board?
Jaw, JJJ, Desmond Bain, GG Jackson, and Marcus Smart.
Okay. I would love to take Vince Williams Jr., but I'm gonna take Zach Edey.
You're gonna take the big bastard.
Yeah.
I'll take Vince Williams Jr.
Good pick.
Okay, one more pick, I guess.
Yep. JD, who do you want? You can get Jalen Wells, Mamadi Diakite, Yuta Watanabe, Luke Kennard, the corpse of Derrick Rose, Brandon
There's
Clark,
some-
John Conchar, Jake
There's some good
Laravia,
names.
or Santi Aldama.
There's some good names on here, like just fun names to say, like Mamadi
This was a-
Diakite.
Just in general, I was like, yeah, there's some
Yeah.
good names left. Like this was a good team for you to pick. But no, just from a
Just
fun
the names in
perspective.
general. Wow.
Cam Spencer. I do love Cam Spencer.
Yeah, there's a lot of
He's gonna be fun.
a lot of names here. How about I have some Brandon Clark stock still. I think I'll probably take Brandon Clark.
Oh, interesting. I would go Santi Aldama
Santi would have been
here.
mine too. Yeah.
Here's the deal. I don't know shit about Santi Aldama.
You didn't
The
watch Spain in the Olympics?
The Thunder wanted him. Apparently, they had interest.
Nick, you're right. That it did get interesting there for me.
Got real interesting there.
All right.
Of all the teams that we did a expansion draft for, which team do you think would get the most players taken in the draft?
This is where it gets.
Of the ones we talked about, or
Thunder, Pistons, Jazz, Rockets, Grizzlies.
Rockets would get a couple, I think.
I agree.
Thunder.
I think OKC would get a couple. At least one.
Who?
Isaiah Joe.
Isaiah Joe.
I can see that.
And Caruso. There's two.
On a 1 year, it's questionable, but well, I guess if it was, he'd be a free agent, so that might be like null. But assuming they re-signed him to a $20 million a year contract,
I think Detroit would get some too, like Sasser and some of those other young guys.
I don't know. Like again, it's 24 players that get picked.
Yeah.
We have to
Is
do this for
Marcus
all the other
Sasser
teams.
one of
That's a
the
good point.
24 most interesting? players left.
Just from the 5, Nick.
Hey, you know what I'm
Just
learning?
from the 5.
Nick's like, that's not how this works.
I don't think I like that.
Practicality.
You know what I'm learning from this exercise is that the teams like a Seattle and a Vegas in this situation, their teams are going to be shitty.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
are they going to
this
be really? Or are they going to be really deep and just need some stars?
Or are they going to be just very flexible with roster building moving forward?
Yeah, they could totally say like we're going to draft.
I'll tell you one thing. You need to get the right GM to kick things off because your team building strategy starts at that point.
Yeah,
And ownership, the most
They're just gonna
underrated aspect of every NBA
How does
team.
would the expansion draft with 2 teams, would they snake draft that?
It's a good point. We've only seen it with one team, right?
why wouldn't they just go back forth, back forth, back forth, back forth?
How do you choose who gets 1 and 2 then? Because whoever gets 1 is at a decisive
This
advantage.
crazy concept called the lottery.
2 ping pong balls.
You flip a
coin flip. Let's do
Yeah,
a coin.
for sure, for sure.
No, you got to snake draft that thing. You got to make it more equitable.
So it'd be 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2,
Yeah.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Because if it goes me, you, me, you, me, I'm always getting first pick. That's just that's inequitable.
I don't know.
If you say that until you're the team picking second.
Well, yeah, you lost the coin toss, brother. Sorry. Also, sorry you were the worst team in the league 3 years in a row, and you got the 5th pick. Pistons. Like it just happens, you know.
Hey, you know what else just happens? Justin and Jacob got their ass kicked.
That you're goddamn right.
No.
And
The
they got
fellas.
their ass kicked.
Why all the hostility?
Look,
you
you
guys,
guys were
were
just-
all talking a lot of
You guys
smack.
were very
You
confident.
guys are gonna say this shit until Veet goes off for 30 in this game and cooks.
Can I
Yeah,
see
for
the
audio-
teams? Can I see the teams?
Yes. For audio listeners, these are the poll results from our Sunday episode where we built. Was it Sunday or last Wednesday? One of those two.
Sunday.
Yeah,
That's
we
why I
built.
I haven't
the
listened.
teams.
I haven't listened. This is
We
based
built-
on how they played in OKC or their career overall or their peak.
No, right
career?
now.
They're playing a game this weekend.
Oh, okay.
This is really
the
good.
fellas by a mile.
Thank you.
Apparently, people agree with you.
Hey, I have a little something fun to end this here podcast. I've been given permission to share this. So schedule drops tomorrow. And I have a source. He or she may or may not be in the chat. But told me to go ahead and throw it out there because it's going to be announced tomorrow. Got a couple games to look forward to. And he or she has already been proven correct from what he or she told me originally about there being 2 games. Thunder will start their season with 2 games on the road. And then other sources have come out with what he or she told me originally, that they'll play the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young coming home to Oklahoma will be the first home game for the Thunder. So I've been told the second away game is going to be the Josh Giddey revenge game. Thunder will be at Chicago after they go to the Nuggets game 1 of the season. That should
So
be
the first
interesting.
3 are Denver, Chicago, Atlanta.
And correct.
That should
And
be
the-
at worst 2-1.
Then the last one I have here, which is kind of fun, the Thunder will get their traditional New Year's Eve game.
No
NBA
shit.
Has apparently bought into
I
it.
can't believe it.
It's going to continue again, but it's going to be a very fun matchup this year. Minnesota Timberwolves, 2 of the best teams in the West. So mark your calendars. We got a fun New Year's Eve game to end the new year and look forward to
You mean the end of the
2025.
old year?
In the old year.
In the old year, look forward to the new year.
There you go.
Yes. Okay.
I
Taylor
got
dropping
some
some heat.
schedule predictions. You ready?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
They will play 82 games.
And they're gonna win a lot of them.
They're going to win 60 of them.
I like that.
You know what's really
It's
cool is
fun.
I'm starting our outro music at exactly 1 hour.
That's cool. Hey, if you like the Uncontested, or if you don't like the Uncontested, you should get on Bleacher Report tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time and listen to Nick and I break down the schedule.
Ooh.
Nick,
Definitely should.
it'll be fun.
How can they find you? Will you post it on socials? Can you just go to the app?
We'll tweet out the link, and then I think also if you just go to the Bleacher Report app, you should be able to find us. But we'll tweet the link out.
Exciting. Sunday, we're going to go over the schedule, I'm sure. Do some predictions.
We'll predict all 82 of them. We're not
One
really
by
gonna do
one. One by one.
Quarter by quarter.
Quarter by quarter.
that. That's Taylor's
All right.
dream pod.
Only if you let me go solo.
Their transition statistics in this game were a little low.
And
Thank you guys
this
as
is where it
always
gets
for
interesting.
hanging out in the chat, listening to us. We'll see you Sunday night. Until then, and as always, though, adios and thunder up.